Which country are you from, migrant? In which country are you based in now? I only left 2 minutes earlier than my usual time. And the roads, they appear far more quieter. This was the TFL train, which Reading is the last station, and it goes all the way beyond eastern end of London. This is one of the major reasons why property prices in Reading shot up a few years ago, and they have just stayed high because of new links to London, new connections to London. I met somebody a few months ago who had been living here for some time now, and it was sometime in mid 2010s when Elizabeth Line was announced, and he said just overnight prices shot up by around 30 to 35%. Hi, Anne. Good morning. So the prices shot up at that point, and they have kind of never gone down since then. Even with the pandemic, few years of pandemic, that was even worse because people had more savings during that time. So the prices went further up. And now the whole bubble has grown so big. Yeah, just driving and talking. So we don't know when this bubble will burst, whether we have to wait for a recession to happen, which again is a cyclical thing. It can happen after, I think, every couple of decades. Those mini recessions that occur and basically correct the property prices as well. So Reading has become quite an expensive place to live in. For a place which is 40 miles away from London, one would not expect the prices to be high at the level of London, for example. But just because there are easier connections to reach London. This, the prices don't really go down. So to give you an example of a good connection with London is that the Great Western Rail, they operate on this side of the region, and literally it takes 23 minutes for a direct train to reach London Paddington from Reading. So that makes it far more easier place to basically to go from into London, because even if you were living in zone 3 or zone 4 of London, it would take roughly around 40 minutes for you to reach Paddington generally. So this is how big difference the direct rail connections make. And for another comparison, if you look at driving into London from here, that is roughly an hour and 20 minutes to reach Paddington from here. And that then adds a few more expenses to be in London. One is the ultra low emission zone, when you just get into Greater London, which is anything inside the M25 motorway, but M25 itself is not included. And then there's congestion charge if you go into central London, as in zone 1. So that itself would be roughly the amount that one would be paying to go by train. So why drive? Why take so much stress of driving into London? Hi Adil Khan, good morning. So this is one of the major reasons why Reading has become more and more expensive. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? So where are you watching from? So I'm originally from the land that is celebrating its birthday today. Yes, that's right. Same here. So where are you based? Are you based in Pakistan or? Whereabouts in Pakistan? Sargodha city, wow. Man, you belong to the same division. So I am from Miawali. So we're just getting out of Reading town. This stretch of road will be motorway-like. So I'll be going at national speed, which is 70 miles here. If I were to compare it with M2 motorway has got a better speed. probably an extra 8 kilometers per hour. So yes. So what do you do, Adil Khan? So I work in the National Health Service here. I'm actually going to work now, but I find it interesting to just moan about stuff or whine about things, or sometimes give some information about part of the country that I am sitting in or driving in at the moment. So I'm just 40 miles, 35 to 40 miles from London. What do you do? Are you a student, or are you already in some profession? Of course I am live, yes. And this is all real. So, yeah, I generally do drive to and from work with going live at the same time as well, because it's just fun, I think. Yeah, that's why I do it. All right, so you run a business, or you're part of a business, or how do you describe that? And you're doing a business in Sargodha, or you work somewhere else? Oh, I'm sorry. I think the reception was a bit poor. This is the problem when one goes live and is on at a speed of 70 miles an hour. So all right. So it must be a busy place. Especially marriage halls are very, very busy places. Usually, I would assume in the evenings. How is the business? So it has its own difficulties, but generally life is easier because whatever taxation you're charged, you see everything happening for you. It's comparatively secure. You're not charged beyond a certain limit. You don't have to worry about bribing everybody to get your usual stuff done. So yes, in that regard, life is very easy. With relation to work itself, so if you live in places like the UK, if you live an individual only, it's actually good. You can save good money then. But if you live here like I do with a family, then it's totally a different ball game, because then you have to, whatever you earn, basically it all gets spent in the your living, basically. So that's the main difference. So those who live here as an individual, they have better life because they don't need a bigger house to live in. They don't need to keep a bigger car. They don't need to pay taxes for like council tax or a lot of bills just because they can live in an accommodation where they can have their own room, they can share a property with others, so it's far more cheaper. But if you were to live as a family, then it becomes a little bit hard life. Like, if I give you an example, I live in an apartment. I've got two kids as well, so there's this whole family of four, which means that living in a two-bedroom apartment, it takes good chunk of your salary for monthly expenses, rent or mortgage, whatever you're having. That's going to roughly, in Reading at the moment, it's around 1,500 pounds per month. Then you have to add into it a council tax of around 180 pounds per month, and bills of electricity, gas, water, they can be another couple of £100 as well. So yeah, in that regard, yes, it becomes expensive. But if you were living alone in this country, then it's far cheaper. You could be spending maybe £600 to £700 on yourself, just living here, and then maybe adding another £300 to. Basically, you live here well in £1,000, and whatever you earn over that is your savings. So that's the difference. But UK is a good place to be, although I think since we have left the European Union, things have changed quite significantly, because some of the issues that happened with leaving a bigger market. So businesses are not as good as they were 10 years ago. So this country voted to leave the European Union in 2016. And since that year, things have only been going in only downhill, basically. The best thing that I like about here is basically driving around. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to save other people. If you're driving fine, everyone else will be driving fine as well. As long as you are safe, you can see that others driving are also driving very safe. Like, you can see I'm talking and I'm just sitting comfortably. I'm in my lane. No one is just joining and leaving the lane every now and then. And so following the rules is the best thing in this country. I have driven in Pakistan for 7 years. I have gone through Sargodha as well. Probably, I think, if not the worst, but near worst traffic that I drove through, just the city itself. So which is a normal thing. Like living in Rawalpindi, Islamabad, traffic was always like that. Yes, quality of life is there, yes. No doubt about that. So, like, I work in National Health Service, so I get around 28 to 30 days of annual leave, which means I can take it whenever I like, whenever I want to. So it's not like keeping on going after my employer to tell me when I can take my leave, etc., etc. So yes, I can go on a holiday. It's far easier to go on a holiday. It's cheaper, actually. Like, I live in England. If I have to go to somewhere in Europe, like Spain or Italy, France is just next door. You can actually take train to France, which goes underwater. So yes, you can have those good days where you can go out with family and all that. So yes, that is a huge positive of living here. And this is generally, the weather is nice. It may be looking very nice to you at the moment because it's cloudy, but we generally hate it when it's cloudy because there's not much sun around. Like only a couple of days ago, the temperature here was 30, 31, 32, and that has been the highest temperature during this year. And we are not expecting any more hot days. So yeah, it's comparatively a colder country if you compare with the part of Pakistan that you live in. Yes, it is colder. So you have to basically look at your profession first, and then you can possibly look at different websites because everything is online these days. So you'll have to find out which kind of businesses or specialties people can move here with. So it basically depends on your work mainly. Yeah, I'm just reaching my workplace. I usually come here, reach early, so I can sit there for a couple of minutes before I can go. Yeah, so actually you'll have to look at what kind of work you are in and whether that is something that the UK is looking for at the moment, because they keep on changing their rules basically. But mainly the thing is that you have to find work here where you can have a salary, um, that basically I think these days it's you have to be around I think £38,000 per year, which is actually more than the average salary of this country. So you have to look at that side of the things. So I'm not sure if I can give you my number directly. I think that's not the right thing to do. And I'm not sure if there is a way of messaging otherwise. You can possibly, if you've got Instagram, you can, I think, search at the rate Khalid701. Yeah, that's what you can try. Not that I use it very often, but I think you can probably send a message and I can then connect with you there. Okay, so it's Khalid701. So yeah, lovely talking to you. And yeah, if there's anything I can guide you with, that I'll definitely do that. I may actually be able to send you some link about how you can try to basically read through whether your work is in their list of looking for more people. Okay. All right then. Have a lovely day. Thank you for joining, everyone. Take care. Bye.